Hey guys, this is Russ from the Student Wellness Center, and this is today's Fitness Fix. We're going to talk about how to properly design a resistance training program. Prior to getting into how to properly design a resistance training program, there's a few variables one should know. First is a rep. A rep is the upward motion and then the downward motion. A set is a certain number of reps that have been completed. For example, a set could be of 12 repetitions. There is no one way to design a resistance training program. What works for one person may not work for another. However, there is a continuum that one should follow. On the low end of the continuum is muscular endurance, which is for those who want lean/toned muscle and not to fatigue quickly. An endurance program is going to have 2 to 3 sets, and usually 12 plus repetitions. And the rest is going to be very, very short, typically less than 30 seconds. The next type of resistance training we're going to talk about is muscular hypertrophy. Muscular hypertrophy is for those who want to increase muscle size or increase muscle mass. Muscle hypertrophy has typically 3 to 6 sets with 6 to 12 repetitions with 30 to 90 seconds of rest in between each set. The next type of resistance training we're going to talk about is power. Power is explosive movements as seen in the Olympics. There are 2 different types of power: a single effort, which is seen in a shot put, or a multi-effort, which is seen in a volleyball jump. The set range is going to be 2 to 5, and for those single effort sports, the reps are going to be 1 to 2 repetitions, with a multi-effort being 3 to 4 repetitions. The rest is slightly longer than the other 2 types, because you need to regenerate your energy stores. So therefore, the rest period is going to be 3 to 5 minutes. The last type of resistance training we're going to talk about is strength training. Strength training is when you're under a maximum amount of load for a much longer time than that of power. So therefore, the force being generated is much slower. 3 to 6 sets is your set range, with 1 to 6 repetitions. And since you're under a maximum amount of load for a long period of time, your rest is going to be higher because you need higher recovery to regenerate those energy stores. So therefore, your rest is going to be 3 to 5 minutes. The last thing we're going to talk about is intensity, and how intensity is governed by the reps. If you're doing strength training, you're at the higher end of the continuum, which means you're at the higher intensity, which means you're doing the highest amounts of weights. If you're at the opposite end of the continuum, and you're in endurance, then you're at the lower end of the continuum, meaning that you're doing lower intensity, which means you're simply doing lower weights. So when you choose a resistance training program, you have to make sure it corresponds with the weight. If you're in strength and you're doing 10 pounds and you're taking 3 to 5 minutes of rest in between, then simply your program isn't making any sense and it's almost a waste of your time. This is Ross from the Student Wellness Center, and now it's today's Fitness Fix.
Ready?
Okay. Yeah, I feel like they're like drumming in our intro.